once again to another interview with another amazing student from another amazing school. Today we have Arpan Jolly. He is a graduate of the Post Graduate 3D animation program at Sheridan in the Toronto area in Canada. So Arpan, welcome.
Right, so I graduated from Sheridan College, this computer animation course in 2010. That's just a few months ago. And right now I'm working as an animator in Pipeline Studios that is situated on the Sheridan College campus itself, and they're doing a lot of television series from the past few years.
What type of a person would you say would enjoy the computer animation program?
Most certainly a person who has a strong inclination towards the field of animation as a whole, and moreover design and art really helps. You need to be really watching a lot of animation, and you need to really love drawing and art. I wouldn't say you have to be an amazing drawer, because I can't draw myself really well, but I still animate because I'm more into the 3D computer animation. So you really have to love watching animation to be an animator, I guess.
Absolutely. So why did you decide to enroll in this course?
Just like I said, that you have to love animation to be an animator. I've always liked watching animation since I was a kid, and I learned that people do this as a living, and there are professional courses being offered, and I found out that there's this great college in Canada. I'm not from Canada, I'm from New Delhi, India, and I came to Canada 2 years ago just for this course. It was just my inclination towards the field and my liking for the field of animation that I wanted to do it, and I've been lucky till now that I got to do it.
And what skills did you have that would help you succeed in this program?
I did a 4-year bachelor's in multimedia from New Delhi, which was more of a design-oriented program. We learned how to draw and study more about design and color. That was kind of a segue from animation, but once I graduated from that, I looked back at animation and thought of doing a more concentrated course. So that's when I joined Sheridan. I've always been really inclined towards graphic design as well. I treat each frame as one composition, and I think that really helps me.
In which industries can you work in after graduating from your program?
It's not that if you graduate from computer animation, you're limiting the fields that you can work in. Most certainly there's animation, but within animation there are so many different aspects to it, and they're increasing by each day. So very broadly, animation, you can either go 2D or 3D, but then you can go into films or television, and after that you can go into animation or visual effects, and then commercial or art based work. So there's a lot of categories, and now animation is being used in so many different fields of medical and news media, and you see commercials. All the commercials these days use CG, and it's just a very, very broad industry, and you can...
So you mentioned that the animation is being used very broadly across a lot of different media. Do you see this becoming even more in the future because of the internet and everything it offers?
I think so. Internet itself is just such a huge outlet for creative talent, and so many people out there are just individually making great films and just showing them on channels like YouTube and Vimeo, which has millions of audiences, and out of these, directors are actually spotting talent here and hiring more people and making short films into feature films. One example is the film 9 that came out I think last year. It was a student short film which was made into a feature film, so that's a great example right there. And there's so much in the industry itself, from the concept to the post-production. Within one studio, you can, if you like, you can experiment for the few initial years and try working in different parts of the pipeline, and then decide what you like and stick with it.
Well, what was your salary expectation before you started the program, and now that you're actually working in the industry, how do you compare that?
Okay, honestly, I did not have a salary expectation. The thing that was most important for me was to get a job in an animation studio, because that was what that I wanted to do from so long. Most animators, and especially computer animators, come from all kinds of different fields. I know engineers who have turned into animators. I know architects who have turned into animators. So I did get a graphic design job initially, but when I heard that I have a interview at Pipeline Studios, I didn't have any salary expectation. I was ready to work for whatever minimal amount.
Would you say it has to do with the passion of really wanting to stick to animation and the 3D field itself?
The thing is that it's more important that I've always heard from my seniors and my professors that it's more important to make a place for yourself first in the industry, and then if your work speaks for you, then definitely no one's going to pay you what you don't deserve. And the industry is quite rewarding, and your work it's such a small industry. People notice your work and they obviously respect it. So but the most important part is that you need to make a place for yourself there first.
How does the course at Sheridan compared to the other schools?
I did a lot of research because it was a huge decision for me to fly to another country just to study animation, but I would say that Sheridan offers 3 different kinds of animation courses. One is the 4-year bachelor's degree course that is called classical animation. There's another department called the computer animation, which has the first year computer animation, then digital character, and a visual effects course. So I had already studied 4 years of bachelor's of multimedia, and I could not literally afford to do another 4 years. So I decided to go for the first year at computer animation, where they teach you the basic animation principles and teach you the 3D animation tools. In the first quarter, we were taught the animation principles, starting from a bouncing ball and walk cycle and all that basic stuff, and then we moved on to making a short film of 2 minutes within a span of 8 months itself. So for me, it was like a clock ticking, and I had to graduate and get a job as soon as possible.
I myself am also a 3D animation graduate from the exact same course that Arpan went to, and we had the exact same professors. What I want to know is, for me personally, it was really difficult to get into the program because the expectations were so high. I had to prepare a whole bunch of extra little portfolios just to get into the program. Was it difficult for you to get into the program?
Yeah, and I was also running the risk of, if I don't get in, what am I going to do? Because I was in Canada on a study permit, and I had to submit my portfolio while I was doing art fundies at Sheridan College. Art fundies or art fundamentals is a 1-year certificate course at Sheridan College, where essentially they help you prepare your portfolio for applying into the longer courses like animation and illustration. So a lot of people take art fundies as like a preparatory course for animation and illustration.
Was it difficult for you to apply when you were in art fundies?
Computer animation is, I've heard always that it's a really tough course to get in, and they have less than 40 seats each year. You need to submit your portfolio and they assess it. It doesn't have to be an animation portfolio, but they do assess your other skills based, like you have to be from a creative field.
Was there any additional requirements like writing essays, taking tests to get into the program?
Yeah, we had to write, I think, what's called a letter of intent, or like, why have you decided to apply to Sheridan College and what are your future goals after doing this course. So you just talk about why Sheridan, why computer animation, and what do you plan to do next after this, because this course ends so quickly that you don't even get to know.
This being a postgraduate program, are there any bursaries or scholarships available?
Yeah, actually there's a lot of bursaries and scholarships available for not only just the computer animation plans, but all programs at Sheridan, and some of them are course specific and some of them are more general. But me being an international student, I didn't qualify for almost all of them, but there are a lot of course specific scholarships and bursaries available for animation students, and I do know that a lot of students do get them. So if you're a Canadian citizen, you must apply for them, and it could be a great help.
Okay, so let's move on and talk about the curriculum of the course. Can you just kind of give us a general outline of the course?
This is a 1 year course. We only get 8 months of studying, which is divided into 2 semesters. So the first half of the course, we basically learn Maya. That is the one of the industry standards for animation right now, and we learn how to use Maya's basic aspects like modeling, texturing, and we move on to rigging and then lighting and animation. First half of the course usually has smaller assignments like smaller animation assignments, walk cycles, run cycles, and then we did a project where we had to come up with a concept and entire product for a 10-second TV interstitial, that those clips that they show between a TV show. And the next semester is completely based around your film. So first semester you learn how to use the tools, and second semester you use all those skills that you learned and make a film out of that. The film usually has to be ranging from 1 minute to 1.5 minutes.
Let's talk about your final project. Can you talk about the concept and any difficulties that you've had during the experience?
Yeah, there were a lot of difficulties because making a film, as for my experience, is not an easy task. Like, because when it's your film, you want it to just look perfect and right and sound right and edit it right. But that is a lot of work. So I pitched ideas as well, and then I finally reached this idea. My film's called Best Idea Ever, and it's...
We're gonna have this film available on the Young Entrepreneurs Hub under Arpan Jolly's profile as well. Why don't we just take a second and take a look at it right now?
Yeah.